And I always was different from the beginning. When I first started coaching, I wanted to be a head coach, but I didn't know what the requirements were. So I was out at Chartiers Valley. I had left Homewood, and I went to Chartiers Valley, you know, a predominantly white school district, and everybody told me when I left, oh, they're not going to respond to you. Those kids won't understand you. You're from the inner city. It was the greatest thing I ever did. Everybody has that same common bond, though. You know, when you start talking about championship mindset, you're talking about moms, you're talking about kids, you're talking about the environment, and you're talking about leadership. And that was always big with me. In Wilkinsburg, I met Thomas when he was probably about 9 going on 10. And his nickname was Tech because he used to carry a Tech 9 gun, automatic gun. He was in gangs and getting involved in a lot of just crazy stuff. And he was a leader, but he didn't know how to channel his leadership qualities. And we started doing championship mindset with that group when he was probably about 11, and the light switch came on. You know, Thomas was one of those guys that he brought a whole group of kids with him. Either it was negative or it could be positive. And he was the one that was supposedly left for dead when he was 11 or 12. So now he's giving back to kids through the YMCA. And it's just, this program is tremendous. Yeah.
And I've known Tony for how many years, and I didn't even know that beautiful story. So that was featured on Colton's Live Like Fred page.
So that was the TV?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was on the news?
Yes.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
Academically, he was very bright, lazy. But you know what? I think everything that Tony went through with Nick, and he really, like, Tony had big expectations of him, and Nick never wanted to let him down either. And I think because we met up with you so early on, it was so instrumental in terms of who he became.
He is a worker. And Lori said, you know, you've got to meet Tony. And my son loves football, he knows everything about it, but he just was below average, a below average player. Right, Tony? I mean, he was not there. You know, and I drove to Greensburg from Peters 2 times a week, starting last February. And my son just idolizes him. Lori said, you know, everything Lori told me about Tony and more. This man really changed my son. My son started for JV all year. First, whatever they gave out the shirts, they said he was going to be JVB. He called Tony Crime. Okay? And, you know, so Tony had him on the phone, you know, back and forth, and he wasn't JVB. He started for JV. And he worked hard, and he did. And now we're going to get him so he can start next year. And he's taken some of them, but this man changed him to be like he idolizes Tony. Idolizes him. I can't say enough about him.
I have 2 sons. I have Brandon, he is 12, and he used to be at Mother SARS until 5th grade, and he just transitioned to Franklin Regional Middle School. And then I have Alex, who is in 5th grade at Moss, still, and eventually will transition as well. A week.
2 tremendous boys. Brandon, we won the championship with Brandon's team, right?
Yes, so the first year, Brandon won, the championship. And then for Alex last year, for the Diocese, their team, it was like a Cinderella story, the best ever, because they were like the last in the league. The smallest, like little third graders, 4th graders, and then they won. They took it all the way to the end, and they beat like the supposedly best team.
Yes, yes.
And they did it.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes. Her son played on the same team as Isaiah. You guys know Isaiah. Yeah. You're right.
My name is Sandy Nuzzo, and my son Luke just started working with me. We've known him forever. I got 2 older boys that worked with him briefly at Moss too. So Luke is just starting out. He's very excited about it. He's a talented player. He's a big kid, but he is, you know, he needs to work. So
he's a worker, though.
Yeah, he's a worker.
He's a worker.
So we're trying to get him, you know, his brothers are kind of in other directions, so they don't really have time to mentor him, so we're going to start on the right path this time.
Peace. This is
Yes.
our networking consultant.
I have many hats,
Yes.
which I am proud to say because I've worked with Tony and Heidi like from the beginning. So I'll give you a little background of myself. So I am a retired school teacher of 28 years with the city. I have a background in mental
boys.
health, and I have twin boys that are 12. So I'm in
We're
the middle
Isaiah's
school realm right
besties,
now. Yes, right now. I'm in the middle school challenge, and I say that because we all know that middle school is going through puberty. So I have that times 2 at the same time. So it has definitely been a challenge for myself at this point in time. And I also deal with some health conditions on the side, which makes it even more challenging. But when Tony was telling me that he was putting this together, I want to tell you that I know whether you're married, single, have other issues that are hard or challenging, that being with your children and keeping them on that right path is definitely doable. I know at times you can get discouraged and frustrated, as we all do. A lot of times I feel like when you're married, you're still single, if you understand what that means, because you're taking on everything by yourself. And while you have somebody else there, visible, or I always say it's like a body, they're really not in the thick of things and really doing everything that you're trying to juggle at the same time. So I thought this was a really good idea for Tony to be able to bring some moms together to kind of just hear what the program is all about, but also to understand that we are in this with you together, that we're not here just to kind of promote something that is not realistic, because it is, and it can fit in wherever you need to fit it in, however you need to fit it in. We just have to find out where your piece is, where you're struggling, and where you need help with, whether it's with your kids or with yourself, and we can take it from there.
It's
And I will
powerful.
just say, because I get to call this man my husband, when we first got together, because I come from a big family, I'm the baby of 8, and when we first got together, and I have many, many nieces and nephews, and a lot of them could have used some championship mindset a long time ago, and they all, they all know that they're all good, they're successful adults, but just the way that I see Isaiah being able to grow up with the mindset that he does have. Isaiah is not an easy kid. He's a great kid, but he has not been without a lot of challenges. He's quirky, he's funny, he's problematic at times, like all kids, certainly. But he has a never stop mindset. Like, he's not going to quit. And it simply comes from what we have tried to instill in him. And I was not a willing participant at the beginning, because this is hard. Like, it's hard to try to get your kid to think like that all the time, and to have the mindset that Tony has. And there were some battles, and I went kicking and screaming sometime, but the result of that is a pretty cool 13-year-old kid who's got a good head on his shoulders, and happy to be a part of this too. Like, he knows the program now, and he loves it. So, and I teach kindergarten. I've been teaching kindergarten for 18 years. So it's so different what we do, and the idea of championship mindset with 5 and 6-year-olds compared to what Anissa, Tony's daughter, does with 7th and 8th graders. But it's the same thing. Teaching kids to believe in themselves, teaching them to be kind. That's such a big thing. Oh my gosh. And that's when, I love what Colton's doing, because I must say it 50 times a day in my kindergarten room. So all of it comes together. So.